Hey, I'm Phil. I'm a second-year medical student, filmmaker, storyteller, and general creative. It is February 13, which means it is exactly now 10 weeks before I have to take my Step 1 exam on April 23rd. And wow, I am scared. And so, quick note, if you're a person who gets stressed out or anxious to hear other people talking about Step 1, I totally respect that. You can just stop watching now. Actually, I might talk about things that are kind of like interesting and fun to me, or things that I want to just share. I'll just put the timestamps in the description, so if you want to just skip to that, feel free to do so. I know that some people get stressed out, even, just to hear how people are studying for STEP, where people are at in their studying for STEP. Sometimes even hearing people talk about how they're having fun while they're doing STEP stuff kind of just brings up anxiety. So I totally get that. Yeah, you should take care of yourself, focus on you, don't worry about me, and definitely don't worry about other people. Just you do you. I was thinking about vlog ideas that I wanted to do, and I thought I would do this as one of them, just kind of a series documenting my thoughts and concerns and progress every single week until I take Step 1. So that's 10 vlogs starting today. Really scary, and it's not because I want to prescribe like the best way of studying, the most ideal way of studying, or anything like that, really. I think this vlog series is more of just an exercise in existing, just to kind of completely accept where I am in terms of how I'm feeling about this test and all the thoughts and concerns that I'm thinking, and all the things that I'm doing to kind of balance my life and to keep myself in check. I think there's a certain strength and comfort that comes from that kind of like radical vulnerability. Yeah, I definitely feel the stress for sure, but I'm hoping that in documenting it, this will serve as a very illuminating snapshot, I guess, of this point in my life and in medical training. I intend to be as transparent as possible, show where I am at in my studying, and just document my adventures. So first off, I'll show you my study stuff, and yeah, I'm gonna go to my desk. So another reason that I wanted to vlog actually is I've been listening to this new podcast by Dana Wilson, and it's called Words That Move Me. And she's an amazing human being. She is a dancer. You might have seen her on the Justin Timberlake tours and La La Land, and she does a bunch of commercial work. She teaches dance all over the country, and she's just such a fun person. So you should definitely check her out when you can. And anyway, so on this podcast, she talks about a challenge that she wants people to do, which is just doing daily, which essentially she's like making a call to action for us creative types to kind of make something creative every single day, because it's often that our early work is not going to be our best work, and that's just like the reality of it. And so like, why not take active steps to get closer to our best work by doing something every single day, and practicing? Because otherwise, if we don't do anything, we're always just kind of like dreaming about, these aspirations that we have. So I was really inspired by that. So I've also been reading this book called Show Your Work by Kleon. You might know him as the author of Steal Like an Artist, which had a lot of cool, like, easy tips about finding inspiration and finding creativity in different places as an artist. And what I really liked actually was this one part of it that said, a lot of us go about our work and feel like we have nothing to show for it at the end of the day. But whatever the nature of your work, there is an art to what you do, and there are people who would be interested in that art if only you presented it to them in the right way. In fact, sharing your process might actually be the most valuable if the products of your work aren't easily shared. If you're still in the apprentice stage of your work, if you can't just slap up a portfolio and call it a day, or if your process doesn't necessarily lead to tangible finished products. And so I actually am using this to inspire my creative work, like artistic work. I've been posting a lot more on my art Instagram and stuff, but I also think it has a lot of relevance into kind of this whole thing of documenting my step studying. And so now I just want to share what I'm using to study and what my progress is. What I'm using to study is ScholarRx, First Aid, Pathoma, UWorld, and just endless Google searching, essentially. I use Google a lot to supplement all the gaps in my knowledge. And so pretty much my spaced repetition is ScholarRx. I use that for my flashcards, and I use UWorld for my questions. So at the moment, I have 101 due cards that I have to do. I have 1,589 overdue cards, and I have 10,367 unseen cards that I haven't done yet. And you can't really see here, but essentially I have all of First Aid in all of the categories checked off here. So essentially I have all the cards in my deck. And so this looks like a lot for sure. But yeah, so this became like 1,589 because the block before this was just a really busy time, and I didn't really have a lot of time to catch up on those. Anyway, the good news is that a lot of this is like stuff that I'm really comfortable with, so I just need to start chipping away at that. So my goal is to be kind of like done with my overdue cards by hopefully in 2 weeks or so, and then I'll just be chipping away at my unseen cards. In terms of UWorld, I have used 95 questions, and I have 2,756 unused questions left. My goal is to get through UWorld hopefully 1.5 times, which means to use all the questions and then to go over the questions that I've either missed or marked, so the ones that I wasn't really sure of. Cool, I don't want this to be too long, so I'm gonna just share things that I'm excited about in the next couple weeks and some things that you might want to check out. I've just gotten into bouldering, and I've started recording my progress with that, and so I'll be publishing that in a separate kind of like vlog series, so look out for that. I'm hoping to collaborate a little bit more with classmates and stuff to just kind of bank up some music covers and different kind of things to pepper in throughout this whole period of STEP, as well as just publishing some of my own covers and vlogs and stuff like that. So that'll be really fun. Things to look out for. I'll still be watching a lot of movies, and I don't know if people know about Letterboxd, but it's essentially a social network for people who love movies. I use it to document all the movies that I watch. It's a really, really vibrant place. I actually trust the ratings there and reviews there more than I do on Rotten Tomatoes. I have a profile there. If you want to follow me, you can see what I've been watching. You can add me as a friend if you want. I love seeing what people are watching, and sometimes it's how I discover things. I actually have a list on Letterboxd that's called Phil's Top 10 of 2020 that I'm working on this year, and it's essentially just the top 10 films that I've watched this year. Not necessarily films that have come out this year, but that I've just seen recently. And so off that list, you should actually see Uncut Gems. That's like at the top of my list right now. Adam Sandler, so amazing in it. And Knives Out was also a very fun kind of like murder mystery kind of type of movie. So Letterboxd, I'll put the link in the description if you want to check it out. It's super fun. Tell me if you sign up on it and we can follow each other. And lastly, 3 podcast recommendations that I've been obsessing over recently. One is the one that I mentioned earlier in this vlog, which was Words That Move Me by Dana Wilson. And that's just like a great one if you're a creative looking for a absolutely fantastic creative to kind of just synthesize lessons that she's learned and kind of talk about creativity and doing work, and it just really gets me going and gets me inspired to just do something, including doing this vlog. Second recommendation is called The Anthropocene Reviewed, and this is a podcast hosted by John Green. You might know him from Turtles All the Way Down or The Fault in Our Stars. He's an amazing writer, and so this podcast series, he actually like reviews things that are part of the human era, the Anthropocene, so like just like cultural icons and ideas and inventions and stuff like that, and just talks about them in a kind of narrative way that's just, I can't really describe, but if you love John Green's writing style, you'll like this podcast for sure. And finally, the last podcast that I really recommend is called City of the Future, and it's this great podcast about urban design and technology and all these concepts that could become part of the cities of the future, essentially. And it includes topics like affordable electrification and responsive architecture and how to design affordability into our housing infrastructure and stuff like that. And so it's super fascinating. I love it. And yeah, check it out. I'll put all of these links into the description so that you can find them. Let me know if you check them out, if you find them useful. I'm always happy to talk about things that are not medicine. So looking forward to y'all checking that out. And definitely be friends with me on Letterboxd because I love movies more than anything else. And this week has been so great because Parasite and Bong Joon-ho just won the Oscars, and I am ecstatic. And I literally cried when they won that Oscar. So yeah, I really love movies. Anyway, I will see you next time, and take care. Thanks for listening. Hey there, if you made it this far, holy crap, I am so grateful for your support, and wow, thank you for listening. Definitely check out some of my other work. Go ahead and click on one of these videos and keep on watching. Thanks.